Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Howdy y'all, Red O'Loughlin here. We're on the Wise Ones on the USA Network. Today my guest is Bracha Goetz, and she'll be joining us here in a moment. When I'm not doing TV shows, and today I do 3 back to back to back. We just finished the corner bookstore. The current one we're on is the Wise Ones, and as soon as the show is over, I'll be doing my own show called Talking Heads, and my topic today is exercise, health, and aging. When I'm not doing shows, I research the human body at the cellular level, chemically speaking. I look for cause and effect relationships. I concentrate on longevity, age-related diseases. The book I'm coming up with this summer is called Aging Sucks. And it deals with the hallmarks of aging, the hallmarks of health, and the pathways of disease. And I get into what causes us to age. What can we do to speed it up? What can we do to slow it down? What can we do to minimize our risk of disease? So that's, I think, enough about me. So why don't we just jump over right now and have Bracha join us up here on stage.
Hi there.
Howdy. And before we get started, I wanted to make a quick comment. When I was flying in Vietnam, one of my co-pilots was named Goetz, but it was spelled differently. And you're the first person I've seen even close to that. His was, I'm sure, the German version of that. But it's just interesting. I don't see that name very often.
Yeah, it's from Austria-Hungary, our ancestors. Yeah.
His was Goetsch.
Wow. Yeah.
And he's one of the few people who, was a pilot way back when and got out and decided that wasn't his forte, and he ended up in business, and I have no idea what happened, but already had, I think, 4 girls or something like that down the road. But, life goes on. Yeah. Anyway, I am super amazed. Almost 50 books. That's quite an accomplishment for such a young author.
Well, I'm not young, but it is a thrill. I love writing children's books, especially. And I am fascinated by your book. Oh my gosh. I heard the ad at the beginning, and I'm really into that too. How to age joyfully. That's what it's about. Yeah.
When you get down to it, it really and truly is.
Yes.
I have The Joy of Ageless Health is one of my books I've already published.
Wow.
And it is a joy when you can live every day and enjoy it, literally and truly.
Yes.
I was going to go a little bit further down the road before we got there, but we're there now. So I know joy and happiness is a subset of your life. So why don't we talk a little bit about that? How do you define happiness?
Oh, well, we have a saying. This is an ancient saying. Who is rich? Those who are grateful for what they have. That, to me, I don't really see such a difference between joy and happiness. It's all about appreciating what you already have. That's what brings you joy in life. And I think it's the secret to happiness, and I think it's the secret also to a healthy life, and also living as long as possible, as joyfully as possible.
Yeah, none of us want to have somebody changing our diaper for the last 5 years of our life. That's not a good quality of life. It's not even joy. But things happen, and we're not always in control. But while we're young enough, we can be.
I got to tell you this. My father, in a way, he gave me the gift of happiness. And my father had Alzheimer's. I definitely the last 5 years of his life, and diapers were a part of his life at the end. But he actually was happy till his last dying breath. He really was. He lived a joyful life all the way through. I know his doctor used to say, when you have Alzheimer's, you meet nice new people every day. He was that kind of a person. Like he would get excited about a baked potato. I mean, till the very end, he was like, he had very low expectations in life, and he was actually grateful. So that's what I'm really spending my life passing on the gifts that he gave me, which is that gift of gratitude, and teaching children as young as possible in life how to live joyfully, because if not everybody's born with a father like I had, who epitomized that and was a role model of it. So in my books, that's what I'm trying to give over, how developing the skill of gratitude completely changes how you approach life.
Do you know what somebody with Alzheimer's can do that you can't possibly do?
What?
Hide their own Easter eggs.
That's good.
Years ago, I read an article. Actually, wrote a couple about it. I've spoken about it a couple of times, but it turns out the happiest country in the world at that time was Denmark. I think it kind of goes back and forth in that Scandinavian uh, area. And when they broke it down, they said that the definition of their level of happiness was the word you used a short while ago, expectations.
Right.
That if their expectations were low and they weren't met, so if your expectations are met, you're happy. If your expectations are not met, you're unhappy. So if
Yeah.
your expectations are up here all the time and they're not
Yes.
met, you're fooling yourself
Yes.
because they're unrealistic. But if they're way down here and you meet them all the time, then hey, I have a pretty good life. And then the other
Yeah.
word that you use a lot too is gratitude. And I think that's absolutely the two have to be married together, because you have to have the happiness portion of that, which is my expectations are being met with my life, regardless of what's happening, Alzheimer's, other issues. But the gratitude that you actually have because you have that. Uh,
Yes. Yes. Even though he had Alzheimer's, he had these neural pathways engraved in his brain to be a grateful person. These are, we can actually, there is neuroplasticity. We can actually rewire our brains to become more grateful people. Those abilities never left him. So he still, all through his life, had a happy life because he still had the ability to be grateful. And this is a really funny thing. I saw this once. How to be miserable. Have high expectations, take things personally, focus on your problems, don't be grateful, and then share your misery. These are the 5 steps of how to be miserable.
you just backstage, you were presented. I mean, not you presented. We were asking about this pleasure ladder.
Yep.
I don't know what that is, so why don't you educate me?
Okay, great. This is not from my brain. This is ancient wisdom. And I learned this and I'm loving teaching it, loving sharing it. There's 5 levels on the pleasure ladder. It corresponds to these things. It corresponds to our 5 fingers. It shows us we have the ability in our own hands to bring pleasure into our lives at any moment. And these 5 levels, they also correspond to the 5 levels of the human soul. This is universal. The lowest level of the soul is the part that's connected to the body. So it's all the pleasures on this lowest level, all the pleasures in this world, the natural pleasures that we can experience with our senses. It could be eating healthy food, spending time in nature, listening to music, being active, exercising, swimming, yoga, dancing, gardening, whatever we love to do. When we experience these natural physical pleasures with gratitude, that is how we get to the first level of pleasure. And and gratitude is that secret ingredient. We can experience all these things all the time but not feel gratitude, then we don't get that sense of lasting pleasure, and we don't get that sense of connection. Cuz when we are in addiction or feeling anxious or depressed, it's because we feel disconnected. We feel alienated, separated, lonely, self-centered. When we bring back the connection, what brings back connection? Gratitude. We are being cared for. Like, my favorite example is this orange. Because, first of all, the fruit on the trees, they're green. They are being camouflaged. They're hidden in the leaves until they're ready for us. When they become the most vivid color, they turn the brightest. And that's when they're shouting to us, we're ready. Now they're showing us they're ready. So we experience the pleasure of looking at them. They smell beautiful. And when we take off the individual wrapping, carefully wrapped, it keeps the sweet juiciness in for months. And we experience the taste, and it's good and nutritious for us. At the end, we find the seeds. The seeds are like seeds of eternity because they're designed to go back into the earth to become infinite more trees and infinite more oranges. So the orange that you're holding in your hand was designed for you to bring infinite loving kindness and infinite wisdom that's packed into it into your life. So this is how we can experience gratitude. If that's just one example of one tiny gift in our lives.
Okay. Uh, and so when did you said this is not yours, this is something that's been around forever and ever and ever, but you're using it as part of your life, your lifestyle, your passion, I can tell by your voice.
Yeah.
So when were you
It's,
introduced to this?
wow. I was 22. I was searching for meaning in life. I had just graduated from Harvard. And the reason I went to Harvard was searching for that wisdom because I figured, okay, I was studying everything. I started doing well in high school, so I got into all these schools. I went to Harvard, and I figured this is the epitome of wisdom. I'm going to find it here. What's the purpose of life? That's what I was searching for. I didn't exactly find that there, but I went on to medical school. I was studying to be a psychiatrist. And and while I was at Harvard and while I was at medical school, I was getting sicker and sicker. I was getting developing a food addiction and eating disordered behavior, and the behavior was were getting more and more bizarre. And it wasn't until later I actually visited a psychiatrist for the medical students when I was in medical school, and I told this psychiatrist all the really bizarre things I was doing because when you have an addiction, you have to work really hard to hide it, and you've got so much energy being put into covering it up and appearing normal on the outside. So I'm doing all this. It's exhausting. And it's a prison. That's really what an addiction is. So I'm all wrapped up in this. It's using up all my energy. And the psychiatrist I met with, he said, you know, all that you're describing, you keep talking about this spiritual emptiness. I think, when you go to Israel this summer, you're going to find what you're looking for. It was a really strange thing to say. I had a 6-week break. I went to Israel that summer, and I ended up finding like this spiritual wisdom I did not know about. And it changed my life. It changed my whole life course. I didn't end up going back to the United States. I didn't continue with medical school. I My life course went completely in a different direction. And that's when I began, once I learned that this deep spiritual wisdom about life that I was searching for, finally, I put it into children's books. And that's what I've been sharing ever since, on the most simple level, these deep concepts brought down to a level that even the youngest children can understand, about what are we here for, and how can you live a joyful life.
What are your typical ages for the books that you write?
The youngest books are for like several months old. I have like board books that show how to look at the world with joyful eyes, even as a baby. It's pictures of babies doing joyful things. It begins at that age. But most of my books are picture books for ages 3 to 7, I would say. And I don't write chapter books except for the book about my life. That's my memoir, but I didn't really write it. It this book, Nourish the Soul, filling the emptiness within. It's really, I compiled my diaries and my journals and my letters, and I filled in the missing pieces. And it's kind of almost a documentary as you watch me developing food addictions and then healing from them. Um, I didn't even know how I was able to heal from the addictions until I found my diaries and put the book together. And that's when I realized, what did one thing have to do with the other? How, when I finally was able to nourish my hungry soul, there was no longer a need for the addictions. Because that emptiness within that we all have, we try desperately to fill it with externalities, but it doesn't help, because it's not a physical hole, it's a spiritual hole. And the only thing that fills that spiritual hole is gratitude. That's what fills you up with the fulfillment that we're all searching for.
Very interesting. And you've written, I'm not sure how many, 45 in one place, 47 in another, 40 plus. So I just put almost 50 books. I'm not sure. But what's the number of books you've written?
Gosh. Okay, so there's 46 children's books and 47 books altogether, including my memoir. But there's another book on the verge of coming out now. So it's, that's why it's all different numbers all over the place.
Okay, so when is your next book coming out, your newest one?
Probably in the next few weeks. It's going to be a safety book for really young children, again, for toddlers, because I have 2 best-selling safety books. These are books that help to prevent abuse in children. And these books, there's like, I guess, about 300,000 copies sold already. They really have saved lives. They're very popular. There's Let's Stay Safe and the Personal Privacy book. And I have a book about swimming safely, because my background is in public health. And I really do love to, and there's another book, Let's Stay Healthy, also, which I wrote during the pandemic, because parents were asking me to explain why. Why is it important to eat healthfully? Why is it important to exercise? Why is it important to get enough sleep? So the thing about children's books, people don't realize it's a way to get your message to every single age group, because the youngest children are reading them, and parents are reading it to the children, and grandparents are reading it to their grandchildren. And then you have teenagers who pick up the books when no one's looking, and they also get the messages in the books, because I hear from teenagers too. Oh, I didn't understand why you need enough sleep. So like the book explains, see how you feel the next day when you get enough sleep and when you don't get enough sleep. You're much crankier, you don't have as much energy, and when you do, you're happier, you have energy to do things. Do the experiment on yourself and you'll see the results. So I love incorporating my love for science and healing into my books. And so the books are about physically healing and spiritual healing, so that everybody's soul can shine as brightly as possible. The garments these are the garments for our souls, our bodies. We have to keep them healthy as well. Yeah.
We're getting ready to go to a break here in about 10 seconds or so. When we come back, I want to talk about your cover art and your illustration. So why don't you give us some thought to that, and we will come back here in just literally about a minute or so. So let's enjoy the break.
Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? In a world quick to judge, one book dares to reveal the hidden cost of silence. Discover holy but harmful, the silent sin of judgment, how hidden judgments destroy relationships and damage lives, by Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. The Amazon #1 bestseller that's transforming the way we understand ourselves and the way we see others. Pick up the companion workbook to uncover your own hidden judgments and learn how to break free from them. Available now on Amazon and at fine bookstores worldwide.
Retta Laughlin here. We're on the Wise Ones on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. My guest today is Bracha Goetz. Bracha, please join me back up here on stage.
Thank you.
You know, when you write a couple, 3 books, probably not too bad to figure out a cover or two. But you start writing a dozen, then 2 dozen, then 3 dozen, 4 dozen. You got a lot of illustrations, a lot of cover art. Tell us about everything that's going on in that part of the world, because I think a lot of authors would love to know.
My pleasure. Up until my 40th book, I would send out my manuscripts to publishers, and my books were published by traditional publishers. When I wrote the manuscript for my 40th book, which was Let's Stay Healthy during the pandemic, my youngest children said to me, "Don't send this manuscript to any more publishers. We want to become your publishing company." That was a whole change that happened. The family took over, and now I have my youngest son and my youngest daughter-in-law, and they are the Growing Impact Publications company. And even my daughter-in-law's sister is doing the cover art. And so we work as a family enterprise now, putting out the books together. Even my grandchildren are involved as well. So we're all busy. It's a family business, and the art is so important in picture books. One of my newest books, which is a very big bestseller now, this book, it keeps selling out of every store we give it to. It's called The Mother Who Always Said Yes. It's a really weird book because the pictures don't match the words. In fact, the pictures are the complete opposite of the words on the page, and children are getting such a kick out of it. The Mother Who Always Said Yes was inspired by one of my granddaughters. I was hanging out with her, and she said, she asked her mother for some candy, and her mother said no. And she turns to me and she says, "When I'm a mother, I'm going to always say yes." And I was like, whoa, that would make a great book. What would happen if you had a mother who always said yes? So in this book, you could look at these pictures. They are unbelievable. Things get crazier and crazier as the children, they'll never go to bed. They will party a ton. Day after day, they'll just keep having fun, and everything looks like a lot of fun. Nobody will tell them that it's time to stop. And whatever they want, they can also shop. They can buy anything that they want in a store. And whatever they like, they can always buy more. They can pick everything. I won't care at all. Why should I stop them? Let them have a ball. You will see them getting everything they want, and things going more and more haywire and dysfunctional. Only in the pictures. It's hysterical. Have some more, for sure. Take these. And they won't ever have to say thank you or please. And the place is a complete mess. The pictures are hysterical. So children love it. The book never ever says that it's wrong. They just look at the pictures. They get to see their fantasies come alive and like, Wow, that would be a disaster. I guess we do need some rules, you know? I guess we do need some boundaries in our lives. Why bother them with homework or even with school? In my house, there won't be even one rule. So children get to live out these fantasies and see what really happens. The pictures play such an important role in picture books. So people actually audition to become the artists in our books. That's what they do. They contact us, they send us samples, we go to their website, they try out doing sample illustrations for the text of upcoming books, and that's how we pick our illustrators.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. It's you just kind of wowed me away there with everything. Your books are available on ebook and physical paperbacks.
A few are ebooks, and a few are audiobooks, and we have some animations. All of them are hardcover books. We do have some softcover books too, actually. So it's a whole variety of what they are. Yeah.
Okay, do you have any in foreign languages?
Yeah. A whole bunch of my books have been translated um, into Hebrew, Yiddish, French, and Spanish. Yeah.
Now, do you do some of those translations yourself?
No, I'm not capable. And also, I love to draw, but I haven't yet illustrated any of my own books. I don't feel like I'm good enough, but if I ever create a really simple kind of book that I could illustrate, I'd enjoy doing that. Yeah.
Well, I usually ask all my authors if they use AI for anything. I'm not sure that it applies in children's books other than spell check and whatever else it might be. But do you use AI for anything?
I just started. Um, what did I do it for recently? I used it to find out what kind of activities could I put in the back of the book to for parents to do with their children. It gave me ideas, and then I used those ideas. Of course, putting it into my own words, but it was really helpful to get ideas from AI about activities that I could present in the back of books to help parents inculcate the values and the messages that are in the books.
When you have a book, when do you start marketing it? So you have illustrators that are bidding for your book, so you have an idea. Do you start marketing the book before it's actually written, or do you wait till it's written, or what?
We do start marketing it a little bit before the book comes out. Um, we do some of the footwork beforehand, but most of it is afterwards. And I like to tell authors this is the most important thing. Writing your book is the first step. People think it's the last step. It's the first step. Then that's when you have the rest of your life to reveal to the world all the treasures in your book. And there are an infinite amount of ways to do that. You could burn out completely trying to do all the different ways that you could let people know about your book. So I could tell you off the bat, just do what you enjoy. If you just do what you enjoy and you are grateful for the entire process, you will never burn out. For me, every day is a joy to let people know about my books. Um, I don't get tired of it one bit, and I could repeat the same things day after day, and I still feel energized by it. The messages are getting deeper and deeper into me as well, so I love sharing it, and that's what I advise everybody. Writing your book is the beginning. It's a platform. You get to stand on that platform. It's as if you're standing on your book. And from there, you get to share and reveal what are the treasures inside the pages of your book. So don't get burnt out trying to do everything. There's so many ways to do it. You may be an introvert or an extrovert. I'm an introvert, actually. I love one-on-one. I love doing podcasts because it's one-on-one sharing. And some people are extroverts. They like to be out there selling their books publicly. I enjoy giving presentations. I enjoy that very much, but I don't like to be in a place where it's very busy and there's lots of things happening, like lots of other sellers all around. That's not my style. Try all these things out, but continue doing whatever you enjoy, what gives you energy, so that you can keep going and keep sharing.
Do you have any particular social media platforms that you prefer for your marketing?
I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn is where people are professionals and they relate to the deep concepts. And I just love being there. That's my favorite. I'm also on Facebook. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I'm X. So all different places. But I would say I spend most of my time on LinkedIn.
Okay, you have some books that are super successful, other books I'm assuming not quite as prolific as some. How well do you track your books, and what kind of corrective action, if any, do you take on the ones that aren't doing so well?
Hmm. I am not the business person. I think you could tell that from my personality. My children are handling the business aspects of this. I'm so not a salesperson. I'm an ideas person. So all what I'm about is just sharing the ideas of the book, and I'm totally not a person that's focused on the dollars and cents involved, but I am thrilled about making an impact and hearing back and getting feedback. I love giving presentations at schools. Like once I was at a high school and one of the students asked me, "What's your favorite part of being an author?" I said, "This moment." You asking me that question. This is what I love, when you get to interact with your readers and you speak to people that read your books as children and how it affected their lives. It's like one of the greatest joys. On the pleasure ladder, it's way up there, because a higher level is meaning, doing something good and meaningful in the world, being creative. And the highest level is transcendence, recognizing that we're all connected. Because when we're in that state of addiction or loneliness, we feel disconnected. These are all ways to bring connection back into our lives. And the secret to there's only one price to pay to climb the pleasure ladder, and that's gratitude. Gratitude is what makes us feel loved up all day long. It's when we recognize that we're really living in this amazing, beautiful garden. And this is a quote that I just learned yesterday. So I'm going to share this for the first time. I love this. The amount of good things in your life depends on your ability to notice them. The amount of good things in your life depends on your ability to notice them. That's what it's really all about.
That's so very true. It really is. Do you have characters that are the same in different books, or every book has different characters?
That's a great question. Once I was interviewed and somebody said to me, "Could you tell me about your plot development?" I said, "Well, there's not that much plot development in my books." They said, "Can you tell me about the character development?" No, I said, "There's not that much character development in my books." And they said, "Well, what's in your books?" I said, "It's really just like they're message books. The whole book is about a message. I don't really develop the characters so much, but usually I identify as a 6-year-old boy. And usually there's a boy in the book who is learning things about life. For some reason, I don't know why, even when I was a child, when I would be in a play, I wanted the role of like being a 6-year-old boy. I don't understand it. But in the books, that's my voice as well, usually. I mean, some books are the main character's a girl, but it's not even developed so much. And most of the books, the character doesn't even have a name. So it's just a person learning about life and sharing what they've learned. In the happiness box, it's a boy who's like miserable, and whatever he has, he's not happy with. His parents get a washing machine, and he's like, "You get everything, I get nothing." And his father gets this idea. He goes, the box that the washing machine came in, It's a happiness box. It was made for you. When you go inside it, all you could do is think happy thoughts. He goes, what? He goes in. How am I going to do that? Then he starts thinking of a few things he likes. Okay, I like this. I like that. He starts developing the habit. Then he goes back in the box whenever he wants to feel happy again. One day he's not near his box. And then all of a sudden he realizes, wait a minute. I do have a happiness box. I could go into it any moment. It's right here, below your hair, above your eyes. There's a happiness box in everybody's head if you let it be. So that's what this book is about. Learning how to create those neural pathways, because the more we practice gratitude, the more neural pathways we create. We actually transform our brains, which are muscles, into gratitude brains. It's how it works. The neural pathways are there. Like when you go on a road you've never been on, it's rocky and awkward at first. But once you create those grooves, you can go so easily down the road. You become more adept at being grateful. It becomes an integral part of your life, and you completely transform the kind of person you are.
Video trailers for your books. Do you use any video at all?
Yes, my daughter-in-law loves making videos. So she's having a blast doing that. That's one of her favorite things to do. She loves to make trailers about the books. Yeah.
Okay, last question before we get ready to wrap everything up today. I was looking at your website. You only have about, what, 200,000 places you've traveled to in the world?
I love it.
So you have a fairly active, busy schedule, or have been over time. But what's some of your what's the two favorite places you've ever visited?
Well, my favorite place is Jerusalem. There's nothing like the old city of Jerusalem. It is a spiritual vortex. There are a number of spiritual vortexes in the world, but this is, I would say, the highest one there is. Anybody that hasn't been there, I hope you're blessed to go there. It's just an amazing experience. There's no ways to describe it because it's not just a physical experience being there. That's one of my favorite places to be. Um, I'm actually going to pick another place also in Israel because I love it so much. It's my home now. I'm in the States right now, but that's where I live, and that's Sfat. Sfat is another amazingly spiritual city in Israel. Um, yeah, that's my homeland.
Okay, how do people get in touch with you? How do they buy your books?
Um, yeah, they can buy them on growingimpactpublications.com. That's the website. They're also on Amazon. They're also in bookstores. Oh, and really important, public libraries. You, you, it's great to own the books because children love to reread them and integrate them. But you can also get your public library to order the books, and that gets the messages out into the world. It's another wonderful way to spread the joy, asking your public library to order the books as well.
Okay, for our audio audience, it'll be after our live shows are over. This will be put on various locations. The website is called Growing, just the way it sounds, Growing Impact, IMPACT, Publications, plural, growingimpactpublications.com. Bracha, I really and truly enjoyed today, and I'm sure we're going to bump into each other down the road, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful being with you. Thank you.
Well, take care, and we will cross paths down the road, and I just wish you the absolute best. I meant to say shalom. That's what I wanted to end our conversation with today. Red Laughlin here. We're wrapping up the Wise Ones today on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. My next show is called Talking Heads. I'll be talking about exercise, health, and aging. I'll be looking specifically at how exercise addresses the 12 hallmarks of aging. And we're talking about what happens in the body at the cellular level, the chemical level, hormonal, the things that actually are transitioning all the time. And what exercise does, or inactivity, sedentary lifestyle. So that you look at both ends of the equation. And then I'll also look at the hallmarks of health with regard to, what things do we need to do to be really healthy? And I'll throw in a little section in there on pathways of disease, because all the pathways start the same. It just depends on which organ they're in, whether the heart, the liver, the kidney, the lung, the brain, as to what actually happens. So that's the program coming up next. I look forward to you all next week. Take care and catch you all. Bye now.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram-Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to tracycramperkins.com. Tracy Cram-Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.